The Vampire Stream. The Vampire Stream. We working. Smash the like button on the Vampire Stream. The Vampire Stream. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more Vampire Stream. Thank y'all for tuning in. We working on the late night hours of the Vampire Stream. Let's get it. Y'all see the fucking title? Y'all clicked on the Vampire Stream. Chazamine, he out of the UK, and he ain't here to play. He said just came off the Eddie Hearn street. Listen, AJ want no smoke with Ortiz. Listen, we now know what's going on fully regarding Anthony Joshua, because you got to look at it like this. How is it 2018 with this very subject? I have predicted every single step of the way things that would happen before they happened. And then they happen, and then these dudes switch their usernames, come back under the witness protection program, and, try to drum up some other shit in the comment section. Do your homework. First they said the Vampire Stream. Do you guys remember late 2017, early 2018, the Eddie Hearn's narrative was that Wilder needed to up his profile in the UK, as if the UK, who doesn't compete with the NFL, the MLB, things like the Super Bowl, all these reality shows, have a crazy ass president in office. They're not going through any of those things that we deal with in America. Eddie Hearn was insinuating that, Joshua versus Wilder, it just wasn't big enough. It wasn't big enough in the UK. Not enough people knew who Deontay Wilder. We knew that was false, people. And what did Eddie Hearn say? Eddie Hearn says that Wilder should fight Dillian White to boost his profile. Well, guess what? Fast forward to modern day, the present day, Wilder did fight a UK fighter, and it wasn't Dillian White. It was a guy, a gypsy traveler named There's Only One Tyson Fury. And these dudes are getting a lot of respect for that fight. Dillian White, he's doing his thing, but he's fighting Derek Chisora, a guy he beat 2 years ago. Oh, what a difference a year makes on the Vampire Stream. You got Dillian White, he's fighting a guy, Derek Chisora, that he already beat. I thought he really lost the fight, to be honest. But the thing is, why didn't they do an immediate rematch? Why does it take 2 years to get a rematch? You see, with certain guys, certain stables and stuff, why does it take so long to get these rematches? God forbid Floyd have a close fight with Maidana that he won. He got to immediately rematch him. And then, as the saying goes, you can't please everybody. If Floyd didn't rematch Maidana, they would say, oh, Maidana beat your ass in the first fight. First fight was a draw. Oh, you scared of Chino, right? Then he did give Maidana an immediate rematch, right? They said, oh, you didn't want to fight Amir Khan, It's like there's no way to win. That's how old media tries to set it up. But guess who came along? A guy named Ego and a Vampire Stream with new media. We're not falling for the bogus shit. The narrative keeps switching with Team Joshua. First, Wilder is unknown in the UK. Which didn't make sense. You could have said from the beginning that didn't make sense. You know why? Because at that time, there was no real set firm instructions. Team Joshua was making it seem as if they were flexible. They were willing to fight maybe in America. It was only later revealed after they were offered $50 million that they wouldn't fight in America. But at that time, when Eddie Hearn was creating distraction number one with Dillian White and Wilder, no one knows him in the UK, up your UK profile. You know, at that point, you know, the USA was still an option. So why has he got to raise his UK profile to fight in America? Doesn't make sense. And again, it was only later revealed that Joshua wasn't willing to fight. You know, once they got offered $50 million, you know, a guarantee that no heavyweight in heavyweight boxing history has ever been offered. It was only then that it was revealed that the first fight just couldn't happen in the USA because they didn't want it, because they didn't want to fight, you know. Fast forward to the future, you pawned off Dillian White, said Wilder needs to, you know, build the UK presence. And guess what? Like Frank Sinatra said, I did it my way. Wilder did it his way. Tyson Fury, you badmouth him now and say, you know, him being Eddie Hearn, you badmouth Tyson Fury now, say he's quite boring and, you know, the most boring, clumsy guy you've ever seen, and the Klitschko fight was boring. Yeah, because Tyson Fury didn't get touched. Anthony Joshua Klitschko wasn't boring. You know why? Because they were dropping each other and shit like that. And, you know, Joshua had to come from behind. The Klitschko fight, Klitschko was hesitant. Tyson Fury made a miss. He was gun shy. He was, you know, herky-jerky with it. So, yeah, that was more boring because it was one-sided. Joshua wasn't boring versus Klitschko because they were knocking each other on the ground and shit. Now you let these guys, Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder and Tyson, there's only one Fury. They went and circumvented everything you were trying to do, and they did it their way. You know, Wilder didn't fight, you know, who he called, I think Dillian White's solid, but Wilder called him a peasant. He said, kings don't travel for peasants. He said, you know, I'll go my own way. He fought Luis Ortiz. Then, to build his UK presence, he fought the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury didn't do it your way either. Like I said, you badmouth him now, say he's garbage and boring and stuff. But Eddie Hearn's earlier this year, when it was revealed Tyson Fury was, you know, clear to come back from the cocaine shit and the binge and all that, Eddie Hearn's met up with Tyson Fury and offered him a contract. And Tyson Fury later revealed some of that contract online. And they were offering him $3 million. $3 million. That doesn't sound like something you would offer somebody that is so boring and, you know, dreadful to watch. Why would you offer him $3 million and want to sign him for multiple fights? You know, so this whole empire that they try to build surrounding AJ's name is starting to fall apart. You know, it just, the stuff is not adding up. You know, like I said, Eddie Hearn saying everything bad about Tyson Fury, how boring he is. He's been dead wrong. Like I said, there's so many ways you could slice it. Ginsu. I'm a Ginsu knife. There's so many ways you could slice this. On one angle, you say, okay, I'll use your state of mind, your logic. Tyson Fury is the most boring fighter ever. Why'd you try to sign him? Wilder, nobody knows him in New York, in his own country. Why'd you try to sign him? Why were you willing to offer Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder $5 million to fight a fighter of his choice and then fight AJ for, you know, some bullshit flat rate? Why are you trying to sign guys that nobody knows and that are boring and that aren't talented? Oh, shit, I'm just warming up. Hold on. We getting that baptism. Hey, get Daps New out of here. We're not buying the bullshit you shoveling. You talking about you a hater, bro. No explanation. No detail. You're not correcting any of the facts that I've stated. Get him out of here. Listen, if you disagree with me, that's fine. But in your bullshit diatribe, in your comment, you better put what I'm saying that's false. We're not playing the bullshit game because that's what they're here for. This is exactly why on my Ego Valley intro, I put that part and it resonates with this boxing game. They're like the Judas did to Jesus. They're only here to cause distractions. You see, everything I said was factual. You can book it. You can go to Google. You could go to YouTube. You can discover every single shred of information that I just provided to you. I'm not falsifying documents. I'm not making up, hyperbole. I'm telling you things that have actually happened. The reason I know they happened because I record and I report on this beautiful sport of boxing. They want to come out the woodwork talking about you're a hater. Listen, you're going to have to prove that to me, partner. You got to prove that to me. So that's cool. Call me a hater, biased, and bloody American wank. But if you do not include what I am saying that is false and makes me a hater in your comment, my shooter's got to get you on a vampire stream. Shall we continue? We don't lose our spot. I got a mental bookmark. So I'm like a Ginsu. No matter how much you slice this, no matter how much you're seething, you're mad at me. You know what I'm saying is true. Do your research. Don't take my word for it. I don't care. Listen to what I'm saying, and then you go, take notes, and you go study all this stuff. Study why I would be mad. People don't come with investigative research ego. You got them. I know I got them. Exactly. Because, listen, the easiest thing, if you really felt somebody was bullshitting you, the easiest thing would be to debunk what they're saying if you knew it wasn't true. They don't try to do that. They say all things, you're gay, your beard's crooked, you suck, you're a hater. But the one thing they don't say is what I'm telling you, that's a flat out lie. You see how when I'm coming up with and intercepting these little contradictions and loopholes and inconsistencies with Team Joshua, I'm citing my sources. I'm telling you why it is inconsistent. They are not doing that to me. They're not saying, oh, Eddie Hearn didn't say that. You know why? Because deep in their hearts, they know. They know. I got the videos. I got files on my computer. We built for this. They know I have the evidence, so they don't even try that. What they try to do is distract you. Oh, I bet Ego's gay. Something stupid. Because they know. In their hearts, they know. That's why they don't even go down that road. They don't even go down that road. They know. Let's continue. Oh shit. Let's continue. So the empire is crumbling because everything that's being said regarding this, it sounds like mumble and it's too inconsistent. Like I said, if Tyson Fury sucks and he's boring, why did Eddie Hearns try to sign him? And sign him for, solid money. For tune-ups and stuff, $3 million. That's not bad. Right? He just got $4 million to fight Wilder and had to make most of his money on the back end. That's what was reported. So why was Eddie Hearn trying to give him $3 million, to come over to Matchroom, which he didn't do? That's what I'm saying. They did it their way. Why'd you want to sign Wilder for $5 million? If he's so unknown in America and you can't do nothing with him, from a business perspective, how does that make sense? How does that make sense? I want to sign a boring and an unknown guy, a guy I can't do nothing with, to my Dazn, imprint, my whole situation. Why would you recruit people that are, rendered useless? They don't really help your movement. That's like me if I'm trying to expand my business and then I hire unreliable crackheads. Oh, I got a crackhead cameraman and he gonna steal the camera, and just disappear. Why would I intentionally hire someone like that? You guys know this don't make sense. That's why you guys are getting destroyed in these arguments. So anyway, no matter how you slice it, Wilder and Fury, they did things their way. Eddie Hearn could say they're boring or, unknown and stuff. Well, guess what? After what they put on an instant classic, I bet they're a whole lot more known now. And the other thing is this, it's like, as a real, not even a boxing fan, but as a real adult, as a real man, as a real woman, how can you sit up here and be content with the person you are if you have no character, you have no couth, and you'll just agree to anything? if you fall for anything, then I can't trust people like that. And you know what I'm saying is true. That's the reality of this situation. You know what I'm saying is true. How can you listen to somebody who constantly is getting it wrong and then come to somebody who's providing you a sound, logical argument with proof, doing the best they can to cite their sources, to put it all in perspective, connect the dots, taking the time. Do you guys understand? To lie, that's easy. Lying is easy. You could just say, oh, like, I don't have a Ferrari, but I could just tell people I have a Ferrari, people that don't know me. If I meet a girl at a club, oh yeah, I drive a Ferrari, I got a Benz too. That's easy. Proving it is a different thing. So it's always, what I do is always going to be harder and more intuitive and more laborious than what other people do when they just throw out propaganda and shit. Because like I said, anyone could say I got a Range Rover, Ferrari, and a Beamer. Trying to convey that lie and prove to this girl you have these 3 cars that you really don't have. Now that's going to be more of a challenge, especially if you have it like that, then you probably don't have no reason to lie. So I'm assuming if you're lying about having these luxurious, expensive cars, you don't have it like that. So now if you have to, you get this girl's phone number under the pretense that you're doing well for yourself and you have these 3 nice cars, how are you going to prove that to her? Won't she find it weird if she never gets to see the Range Rover, the Ferrari, and and the Beamer or the Benz? So anybody can lie. Anybody could just say some shit. It's not about that. It's about proving. You're gonna pick her up on a date and you have all these ballerific cars, but you never pick her up in one. She never sees no pictures on Instagram with you holding the keys or in it or driving it, but you got this car. When you're driving, listening to music, and then you got, the dashboard. She never sees none of that. So like I said, anybody could come up with a lie. That's what half of these dudes, these man fans be doing. Anybody could do that. But proving it, that's something, that's way different. So it's always going to be harder. We always going to have to work harder than the next person. But this is the pledge I took. This is the oath I took on the YouTube channel, and that's what we sticking to. Like Wilder and Fury, we doing things our way. I come in the game, I'm not trying to ruffle feathers, I'm not trying to piss people off, but if you want to make some omelets, you got to crack a few eggs. Real is real, fake is fake. I'm gonna say it again. If you want to make an omelet, you got to crack a few eggs. And that's what we doing. We making Denver scrambles out this motherfucker. We run boxing. Let's get it. I can't let, as a man, I can't let somebody just feed me lines and stuff and tell me stuff that I know is not the truth. We hustling from the ground up, and the only thing about it is they mad because they know it's only getting worse. They know we getting stronger. This ain't no game. We are real life boxing fans. We have a real life, community. We're creating like our own institution. We can have different opinions. That's not a problem. But the thing that unites us is the fact that we are all fans. We all want the sport to do well. Of course we're going to like different people or, like different styles. That's all cool. I don't care about that stuff. But you ain't going to outright, lie to me and then, just we got to run with that and accept that, Like I said, we can't, I'm not saying we like some exterminators and we can get rid of all of the problems and, vermin and the roaches and pests that, the corruption. I'm not saying all that, but we can shine a light on it, We can shine the light on it, and make it, and make you think twice before you just say whatever. We can do that. Let me keep going, man. Smash the fucking like button. Surprise, surprise, motherfucker. The king is back. Dave Chappelle was right. I don't know what that means, but shout out to Chappelle. And, all this propaganda and bullshit, Fury's boring, but you wanted to sign him. Wilder sucks and no one in New York knows him, but you wanted to sign him to Dazn. How many times I keep saying the same thing. How many times do some people have to get it wrong for you guys to be like, okay, something's not adding up. Now I got to challenge what's being said. Eddie Hearn said the fight wasn't even going to happen. And then fast forward to after it does happen, and we all, for the most part, witnessed it, you know, the real boxing fans. Then he switches to something else in the vein of it didn't, the pay-per-view numbers were terrible. No, like, why are we talking about, okay, that's cool, you think the pay-per-view numbers are terrible, but how are we talking about terrible numbers to a fight that you said wasn't even going to happen? Huh? Make that make sense. Why are we even talking? Why, like, how did the conversation shift from, you know, the fight is not gonna happen, Fury is not equipped to deal with Wilder, he's getting knocked out, so therefore he's gonna get scared and pull out and all this? How did the conversation shift from that to terrible numbers? Why are we even talking about the pay-per-view numbers when you said the shit wasn't even gonna happen to begin with? Once again, this is what happens. People are shapeshifters. They're like, oh shit, it did happen. So everything I said, so let me divert the attention on something else. You know, why are we talking about terrible numbers? Even if you think the numbers are terrible, cool. But you said the fight wasn't even gonna happen. So you of all people shouldn't be the one talking about the terrible numbers, because according to you, you knew for a fact the fight was gonna happen. You said Eddie Hearn said you talked to Tyson Fury and he didn't want, you know, he wanted nothing but tune-ups coming off the 3-year layoff. You said Tyson Fury is gonna get knocked out. So why are you talking about, Eddie Hearn is now talking about the terrible numbers. He's now talking about, hey, this wasn't an instant classic, it wasn't a great fight. Why are you talking about it wasn't a great fight? Why are you talking about terrible numbers? What about the other stuff you said? How you challenged Fury for even being there. So why are you now talking about how it wasn't a great fight? You said Fury wasn't going to show up for it. This is what happens, you know? They're like, oh shit, I was wrong. So I don't want to focus on me being wrong. So let me bring up some more shit. You know, it's like creating a bunch of small fires. You're like, oh shit, they put out that fire, and you know, now they're on my trail. So let me start another fire on this part of town. You know, and then the fire department and the arson detectives, they got to try to put out this fire. You know, so they just try to create these small fires. So you're constantly trying to put out fires while you're trying to solve and look for clues to determine who's the arsonist. It's really easy to see, you know. Why are you, out of all people, why would you be the one talking about terrible numbers to a fight you said wasn't going to happen? Why are you telling us how the fight wasn't an instant classic when you said Tyson Fury is going to get knocked out? You know, why are you talking about you don't even have no space to really even talk about Tyson Fury's performance. You know, the Eddie Hearns and AJ, that none of them, they shouldn't even be propping. They shouldn't even give Tyson Fury credit. Be the same person, be the same team, say the same shit y'all was saying about him before the fight. Don't be like, oh, well done, well played, Fury. Don't give him, you know, now you want to celebrate your countryman now. You didn't want to uplift him before the fight. You didn't even want to show up to the fight. Why are you talking about good job, Tyson Fury? You know, AJ, you talking about good job, Tyson Fury. They thought you were done and you proved them wrong. Why are you trying to give him credit now? You didn't go to the fight to support him. You said he was going to get knocked out like, you know, 98% of the people. But now all of a sudden they're trying to act like you was holding it down for your countryman. But you weren't. You were against him too, basically. You had no faith in him too. You see? It's like people always doubt you, and then when you do it and prove them wrong, then they act like they knew you could do it. I'm not, you know, listen. This goes to anybody, people that know me, people that don't know me. If you weren't here for me during the worst of times, you won't be there with me for the best of times. When I was struggling and shit wasn't getting paid on time, and, you know, I was like worrying and, you know, couldn't sleep, sleepless nights, always racking my brain trying to figure out, you know, what the next move was, what the best move was without catching another L. If you weren't there for that process, especially if I knew you and you doubted me, then where we at now and things are shaping up, you know, looking better, then don't expect to be there at that point either. Keep the same energy, you know. The same person that doubted me, that thought this YouTube shit wouldn't work. Okay. Keep thinking it's not gonna work. Now, even though you see it's working, you see me getting to fights, you know, you see me traveling. Be that same person. Be that same doubter. Don't switch up now. I don't, you know, I'm from the Bay. We don't deal with that switch up shit. You know, that finicky shit. You didn't believe in me, so keep not believing in me, even when we winning. You know, but that's what people do. They want to act like they oh, like, you know, I went to school with him. I used to work with him. Yeah, you did, and you didn't help me out when I needed it. So don't help me when I don't need it. You know, I'm not trying to say like I come from a 2-parent home. I love my mom and dad. You know, they taught me a lot. My parents are still married. You know, definitely humble. But like I said, I don't need the help now. We good. Like I do things now. I'm in a position where I can help my parents out, you know. So I don't need help from, you know, the people who formerly doubted me. And I'm not talking about my parents. I'm talking about like people I know, you know. We don't need that. You know, you didn't believe in me when I needed the help. Don't believe in me when things are going smoothly. It's that simple. You know, it's like me being broke as fuck or something, being on the freeway, right? I get a flat tire. I don't have no money, you know. I don't have no money. And then I have a friend or something that has AAA, and I'm like, hey, I'm in a pickle, I'm in a bind, come, you know, and then use your AAA. And they're like, nah, I ain't got time. You know, I got to catch up on some sleep, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then I have to, you know, open up a credit card or go in debt, you know, just whatever, you know how things go. And then take care of it my way, you know, find some way, you know, borrow money or do something that I don't like. I don't like to borrow. I don't like to ask people, you know, I like to do shit my own self. You know, I don't like coming to people. I'd rather starve than ask for someone to buy me a cheeseburger. But anyway, you leave me to figure it out. And then when I do figure it out, and then, you know, in the future, if something like that happens, don't be offering your service then, you know, because now I can pay, you know, I can pay to have my car, you know, roadside service now. That's how I look at things. So, you know, all these people, all these newfound Tyson Fury motherfuckers, be the same motherfuckers that didn't respect him, that said he was out of shape, that said he was going to get knocked out, you know, that had no faith in him, that said he was an alcoholic and, you know, chat shit, get banged, all that. Be that same person. Don't switch up now. See, and I can't stand a fake person, you know, fake motherfuckers. I can't. It's just in my DNA. I can't respect that, because, and then you know what the worst part about it is? I'm gonna tell y'all on the Vampire Stream. The worst part about it is these people that do this type of stuff, these people who aren't built like solid, is not only are they content doing this lame shit where they're completely wrong, and then when they're proven wrong, or when then someone starts winning, or when somebody defies all the odds despite their doubt, not only will they switch sides and become these fair weather fans, but in addition to that, they'll try to attack others like me, you know, who has been reasonable throughout and didn't do that fair weather shit. And then they'll try to make it like I got a vendetta. Like, it's crazy. Like, for example, I've always liked Tyson Fury. You know, I gave my opinion on the fight, you know, like most people. I thought Wilder would win, you know, and, you know, arguably he did. But I never went over the top. I never disrespected Fury. I never said, oh, he's getting knocked out because, you know, he's not ready or he's not mentally tough. I didn't do the stuff that they did. You know, these dudes shitted on Tyson Fury, and he proved all the doubters wrong. Now they want to come in, you know, this big, chanting and shit. Don't, shut the fuck up. We don't want to hear you chant no more, because you wasn't chanting when that man had mental health issues. Chant then. That's when people need the help. You know, you about to blow your fucking brains out. You wear them chants then. See, that's what I'm saying. People only want to be there for the highs. They don't want to be there for the lows. You know, why wasn't you chanting when that man was about to blow his brains out, about to drive off a fucking bridge like Stan? Where was the, there's only one type, where's all that shit now? You know what I'm saying? The shit you doing now, where was that when he was about to, you know, drink himself into a stupor and then drive off a fucking bridge? These dudes is fake, man. I'm not built like that. I'm built different, man. It's whatever. We could bet whatever, dog. I'll tell you. I'm built different than people, you know? Where them chants then? See, they don't want to chant when you need to be uplifted. But when the shit's going good, then now they want to cheer and praise you and build statues, you know? And, you know, Martin Luther King get killed, you know, for having a dream. I have a dream, you know, get killed. Now you want to build a statue. Why didn't you build a statue for that man when he was like going through it, you know, and people were out against him? See, this is how the world works. You know, we too real for the radio. It don't matter, man. Now after, you know, Martin Luther King get fucking sniped, now you want to build statues and name streets after him. When he was going through the struggle, why didn't you name a street after him then? You know, why was there no college curriculum about, he's saying the same thing. After you get killed, I mean, that's the end, you know? So he was doing it. This is what happens, man. Like, listen, y'all about to, I swear to you, I promise, I'm so sincere. I'm about to turn to something else, that Ego Valley. I can't stand this type of shit. I swear to you, you know, because a lot of you guys have no fucking integrity, especially you men, you know. I can't respect that. I don't respect you. If you have no integrity as a man, I have no respect for you, period. And I'll say that to your face. I don't respect you as a man. You know, this is just like when celebrities die, right? Mac Miller, rest in peace. I always fuck with Mac Miller. You know, I didn't get a chance. You see, I don't have to lie. I'm not going to say I had a chance to see all his videos and listen to all his albums. But I always was like, oh, that kid's different. You know, he's shooting cool little videos and you know, he was rapping about some different stuff, had a cool cadence. I've always said that, you know. Mac Miller goes through the struggle, you know, depression, ends up ODing, fentanyl and all this shit, right? Now all of a sudden, his album that was out when he was alive, his album goes #1 after he died. Come on, man. The album was already out. You know what I'm saying? Why is it #1 now? You know, XXXTentacion. Why is his album doing crazy sales now after he gets shot and killed? Explain. Like Pac said, somebody gotta explain why I ain't got shit. You know, XXXTentacion, he had the same singles out. You know, like I said, after you die, that's the end of your chapter. So it's not like you know, posthumous, you can release stuff that was unreleased, but you're not recording no new shit. So this is all a body of work that these guys came out with. You know, Lil Peep, XXXTentacion, Mac Miller, right? And they did this while they were here on this earth. Now that they're not on earth, why is Mac Miller being nominated for a Grammy? Where was his Grammy nomination when he could be there to pick it up? You know? Come on, man. Same thing with Heath Ledger. This dude killed himself being a joke. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's, you know, you drove this motherfucker crazy for a role and shit. Like, you know, I'm not, you know, I can't blame somebody's OD and, you know, say what happened in the situation. But, you know, this dude gave his life to his craft and, you know, obviously needed some shit. Robin Williams, all these people, you know, Prince, Michael Jackson, all this, right? This dude died for the Joker role, you know, killed the role, then killed himself, you know, by putting poison in his body. Now he get an Oscar nomination, and I think they gave it to him that year. That ain't poetic justice to me. You know, I'm sure Heath Ledger wanted the Oscar when he was here. I mean, I don't know. I don't know him. I didn't know him. But I'm sure that would be more flattering when you're there, you could pick it up. But this is what fake ass motherfuckers do. You know, Tyson Fury, he battles all this shit by himself. Just him. You know, I'm sure his dad, his brothers, you know, it looks like he has a pretty Shane and, you know, all these Furies, and Joe Fury, and, you know, all these Furies. Paris, his wife, you know, I'm sure they helped him in ways that they could. But, you know, he battled all this shit with fans is cruel. These fans is cruel. You know, when you're not winning, when you losing, they're not there for you. You know, look at Brandon Rios. When Brandon Rios, he was looking good at 130, 135, undefeated. Life was great. Start taking some L's, they disappear. Now they say, oh, you should retire. Oh, listen to the way he talks. You know, well, you help him talk then. You know. So anyway, you know, that's what it is. And this Tyson Fury shit, I always respected the man. I wanted to see him win. You know, I did do videos about him ballooning up in weight. This is my job, you know, Ego Weight Watchers. So I definitely talked about that type of stuff. Like, damn, you know, how's he gonna come back? How does he look? But I always respected the man. I was always pulling for him to, you know, see what he can do. You know, no matter how far-fetched it seemed. And a lot of people who you know, they didn't do nothing for the cause. They didn't reach out for help. Now that he has a good showing versus Tyson Fury, all these fans come out the woodwork. You know, stop it. My dude Von D said it's sickening. My dude Aaron know about that Joker. He said, "Where's Harvey Dent?" Yeah, man, that was Heath Ledger did his thing. And see, this is the other thing. Heath Ledger, when he was first announced to play the Joker, they laughed at it. They laughed. They're like, man, what the fuck? Heath Ledger, you know, 10 things I hate about you. Fuck you mean, you know? And then that man did the role and killed it. You know, some people, I don't like to compare, but some people would like his rendition of it better than Jack Nicholson. And Jack Nicholson had a classic. Yeah, Jack Nicholson's Joker was classic, you know, to that point. Me personally, I don't like to compare because I don't think that's fair, because I think Tim Burton, where he was going with the Batman series, is different than Christopher Nolan. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, they're just two different types of films. Like, you know, Jack Nicholson is a dope ass actor, and you know, just the way Tim Burton did his movie, and, you know, shit was in like 89 or something. You can't really compare it to now, but some people did, you know, and he proved people wrong. He was good in The Patriot too. Heath Ledger, you know, same thing with Paul Walker. The man crashed into a tree or whatever. Now people care. Well, it's sad. Hey, speaking of Paul Walker, rest in peace. You guys got to watch that movie, Running Scared. I have to watch it. I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember watching it. That shit was dope. So that's what I'm saying. Celebrate people when they're here. Celebrate, you know, and help and do these chants and all this bullshit y'all want to do when people are winning. You know, Tyson Fury defied all odds and smiling, and, you know, now you want to be in his corner. You know, check up on people when they need it, more so than when they don't need it. You know, like if you have a friend or something, reach out to that friend. Reach out to, you know, say, hey, you know, what's good? How are you doing? Everything good? You know, people don't want to do that. They want to reach out, you know, after they die or some shit. What's the good in that? You know, your family, all that type of stuff. But anyway, we getting back to this money, man. Eddie Hearns. I told you I'm on a roll. This whole shit is a snowball to me. This shit is, I was bred for this, you know, being in front of mics and all that, you know, this is what I do. But like I said, how many times Eddie Hearns and stuff, how many times is it his statements gonna prove to be false or inaccurate? You know, imagine if you come to my channel and I'm saying outlandish shit, you know, or what's perceived as outlandish shit, and then steadily I'm just constantly boom, 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 all these things I've ever said. That like, bro, I've been on YouTube so long, you know, like a decent amount of time for a niche like boxing. You know, you don't just come. I've been trying to help these YouTubers They don't want to listen. I'm not helping them directly. I'm not like, you know, you got to pay me for my time, but I drop occasional gems like in longevity in this sport. If you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, you will get ate alive. If you're constantly wrong, you will get ate alive. If you're always putting out bullshit and propaganda, you know, you're not going to survive in this. The reason I've been able to survive in this game and make a full-time living, like, this is why these motherfuckers be mad. These dudes be like, oh shit, you know, like old media and shit. I've been covering boxing since, you know, Aaron Pryor. Like, I haven't, but I'm still more known than you. Still, you know, respected by the fans, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta just be real. You don't keep it all the way funky, as we say in the Bay. It's that simple, you know. And the up and coming YouTube channels, I've seen so many people have like a cool little run, you know, do a meal or so a month for like a period of time, and then they fall off. They can't do this long term, you know. Or the other ones that, you know, you ever see these channels that just stuck at the same number forever? Like, they're stuck in the same, like, paradox, like, you know, the same. If they're at, you know, 10,000, they're stuck at 10,000 subscribers forever. That shows you something. We don't stay stuck at any number for any length of time. You know, if you don't believe me, check the numbers, you know. Like, I remember, and the reason I know is like, I don't monitor my numbers like that, but I see like little screenshots on my phone where I screenshotted a video or something, or posted something on like Twitter or Instagram or something, and it shows you how many subscribers you have. And I'm like, damn, when I was covering this fight, I was at this amount of subscribers. You know, I remember when I hit 100,000. I'm like, damn, this is dope. You know, this is a dope milestone. And then we blew past it. You know, we trying to get to the next set of 100,000s. So, you know, I'm trying to help to all these coon channels and shit. You don't have no, like, real, like I said, this is why guys stay in the same, like, this is why they stay in the same group of numbers and shit with their subscribers and views and all that. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. You heard? You know, coon channels and shit, like, that's cool, but you don't really have a fan base. You know, whatever your ethnicity is, they not fucking with you because they know you like tap dancing and you're not being transparent. You're just trying to say what, like, who panders to racist people? Why would I want to impress somebody who's racist? Do you understand how stupid that sounds? If I know a motherfucker's racist is not going to give someone a fair shake, why would I be trying to, you know, impress them or entertain them? I don't give a fuck about a racist. You already too ignorant. You're not on my, like, you don't have the mental dexterity to fuck with me. I can't fuck with no racist person. You know, what do we have in common? You know, my whole upbringing. My dad was in the military. I have friends of all walks of life. Me, myself, I'm biracial, you know, mixed kid. So, like, what do we have in common, you know? And I feel like I'm intelligent. I don't have nothing in common with someone who's ignorant, you know, on that bullshit. So why would you want to impress it? But some people do it, you know. And it's sad to say, you know, sometimes you see fighters do it. They try to say what's popular. Like, even, you know, Floyd Mayweather is a great fighter. I think he's a great fighter. But there has a lot of times where he's saying stuff and it's like, do you really believe that, or are you just saying that because you're hoping people see? And this is the thing, like Floyd Mayweather, we'll use him because him and Deontay Wilder, I just did a video about it. Wilder he just sounded disappointed that Floyd Mayweather, you know, another American champion, he felt is not in his corner. Floyd Mayweather is American champion with a lot of influence, and he feels, Wilder said he feels that Floyd don't want no one to be bigger. And we've heard a lot of people say this stuff, you know, like Floyd doesn't want you to outshine, like never outshine the master. Or if like someone does something, Canelo and Triple G are fighting and fans are excited, you know, Mayweather McGregor gets announced just to jump in the mix of that and you know, shift the attention. You know, sometimes it makes sense, like strategically, but then sometimes it doesn't make sense. Wilder also said, like, sometimes Floyd would do a press conference for a Mayweather Promotions fight, you know, Badu Jack or Tanker or somebody, and he started bringing up him and what he's accomplished. And Mayweather was, Wilder was just saying basically, it's not always about you. you know, and I have to agree with some of what Wilder's saying there. Just like I said, I respect Floyd. I respect him as a man. He's a hell of a fighter, but you know, you can see where he's coming from with saying stuff like, you know, and that's why people were like talking about free Tank and shit. But here's the kicker. Floyd Mayweather, I don't know if he's, like, to me, I don't even think I think he's really a boxing wizard. So I really feel like a lot of times he says stuff that he doesn't really agree with, or necessarily he doesn't have deep-rooted opinions on, but he's saying it because he wants, you know, acceptance, maybe. And it's just something crazy that, well, not crazy, it's just something, and people are like, really, Floyd? You know, he says something that's like, really, Floyd? And the thing that's wrong with that is you do all of this, you know, you do all this, and they still hate you. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why, like, I gotta just be me. That's why, to me, my method to madness is always to be truthful to myself. I don't care how much money I got, you know, what I accomplished, you know. I always have to remember my humble beginnings, where I came from, who I am as a person. I can't lose that, you know. I can't continue doing something if I have to lose who I am, you know, and just be around a bunch of fake people, you know, nonstop, or, you know, impress people that I formerly, if I didn't have money or something, wouldn't be trying to impress. You know, I understand keeping business relationships open and tight, but to me, it's like a real thin line. Like, for example, I'm trying to give you all some examples. Smash the like button. The fucking king is back, man. I'll give you all some examples. So far, Floyd Mayweather, guys who have been black, you know, and American stars, different types of stars, he hasn't really seemed to get behind them. You know what I'm saying? Like Andre Ward, he was, or is, an Olympic gold medalist. He had a close fight with Sergey Kovalev, and I thought he beat Kovalev, but I thought it was close. You know, it was debatable, or whatever you want to say. I thought he won, though. I thought he rallied pretty good after the knockdown. You know, good fight, close fight. You know, Floyd does this interview, and it's like he's going above and beyond to say, like, disparaging things about Andre Ward. You know, he was saying, like, oh, Virgil Hunter, oh, that motherfucker, yeah, I can't have no coach that he never stepped in the ropes. He never fought. You know, I can't have, right? He's not a good coach to me. I need somebody that's been there, you know? And then he was like, Andre Ward, oh yeah, he definitely lost. Like, you know, it's just like, he's saying it like super cutthroat, you know? So this is somebody who, like, and for the record, I'm not saying like black power or something, like, just because someone shares the same, like, background or creed or origin as you, that means you have to automatically ride with them. I'm not saying that, but it's like Floyd was attempting to completely separate himself, and I don't know why. But, like, at the end of the day, Andre Ward is still a good fighter, no matter what the outcome of was for the Kovalev fight. Do you get what I'm saying? And the way Floyd was talking about it, he making it sound like, you know, he's sounding like with the people, the actual racists who weren't even being, like, impartial to the fight. He was saying, like, their talking points, which is, you know, in a close fight, that does, you know, it doesn't seem more. So I don't know if it's a situation of Andre Ward after because he was retired, I think, when the Ward Kovalev was going on. I don't know if it's because Andre Ward was being talked as the #1 pound for pound, you know, but, like, it just seemed like super slanted. Like, he making it sound like Kovalev just, like, was destroying Ward, but it wasn't really that. And then, you know, taking shots at his coach and stuff like that. And I'm gonna tell you like this, like, there's a lot of I see fighters all the time, and every fight, like, I'm not a fighter. I've never been a pro fighter. I don't have an amateur background, you know, but a lot of pro fighters, I've seen them discuss boxing, and I've seen them do fight predictions, and they're wrong all the time, you know, depending on the person, of course. They're always wrong. And then you look at my predictions, and then, like, I have a good record, you know. If you add up all like difficult, easy, different levels of fight, my shit is good. So, you know, you can't just discount someone totally. It's just like saying Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player of all time. Is he the best owner? Is he the best basketball team owner ever? It doesn't always work like that. You know, you could be a great fighter. I don't mean you're a great commentator. You know, that don't mean that your knowledge is like the only knowledge, because at the end of the day, sometimes, like, okay, if you're a fighter with no defense, then that style might be more appealing. So there's a lot of fighters that have inherent biases. Me, I don't have no bias. I don't care what you fight like. I'm just telling you what I see, you know? So, like, if there's a, like, let's say a black fighter, he might like a certain style because he's black. You know, there's Mexican fighters, and then they know Canelo will lose. They know he's going to lose to Floyd Mayweather. But then they'll say, oh, yeah, I think Canelo beats him. They just going to say that. They know he's not going to beat him, but they'll say it, you know? So that don't, you know, it don't matter just because you're a fighter. That is not the end all be all. But anyway, Floyd Mayweather does stuff like that, you know, to each his own. And then it's like you're trying to tear down people or whatever, you know. And then, you know, just things, just like, I remember I was at Lotta Hearn, and then it came out that on the Showtime telecast, oh, Floyd says Tank's fighting Lomachenko. He talked to Todd DeBuff. And then Tank's online didn't even know about it. Like, that's just weird. Like, you know, what was that about? And then we didn't see the fight, you know? So it's just like, what was the point of doing that? It's like you trying to sun him or something on national TV, or I don't know. That's what I'm saying. So I don't, you know, I can't understand. I don't get up here and try to figure out everybody. I'm just telling you what I see. Another thing Floyd said was that Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez was the #1 pound for pound. Now, Floyd being the #1 pound for pound for so long, when it came to Andre Ward, you know, you never really got behind him the same way. But then when motherfuckers was going around saying Chocolatito, when motherfuckers was saying Chocolatito, block Ukraine pride. Just get him out of here. You're no longer welcome. I see the dumb shit you putting. Get him the fuck out of here. This chat will not go on unless Ukraine pride is out of here, because I know what you're trying to do. Get them the fuck out of here. Do we have any shooters in the building? Listen, to all these dudes with this bullshit, you have a YouTube account. Go talk about that on your channel. All this bullshit, you're trying to distract. I know what these dudes do. Anyway, Floyd said that Chocolatito was #1 pound for pound. A couple months, you know, a short time later, Chocolatito's getting smoked by Sor Rungvisai. Did Floyd really, you know, him embracing that #1 spot, you know, truly being the #1 pound for pound in boxing for so long, did he really think that Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez held that spot? And then when he said Andre Ward, oh yeah, he definitely lost to Kovalev. Oh yeah, he lost. Oh yeah. Virgil Hunter's not a good coach. You know, like, it just seemed kind of weird. Like, you really thought Chocolatito was the, and see, that goes to show you. Either way, you know, Floyd, those are the statements he made. He said that Chocolatito was #1 pound for pound. And then Chocolatito, it was proven that he wasn't #1 pound for pound, because you got a Muay Thai fighter beating him. You know, a guy who didn't even come from an extensive boxing background. He's just wild with power, like y'all say Wilder is. And he's losing to that. And he doesn't even have a Wilder type resume. And he lost to Carlos Cuadras, a guy that you beat. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, see, Floyd, some of his comments seem like opportunist, you know, like opportunistic comments. Like he's trying to say what he feels is right. Like, it's not that Black lives matter. All lives matter, you know? It's like he's trying to. But the funny thing is, when people do this, what they don't understand is this. You said all lives matter. You said Chocolatito. You saying everything that we've heard from the racist fans too. You know, Kovalev won, kicked Andre Ward's ass. You know, You took all the standpoints that they still not giving you credit. They still don't like you as a fighter. You know, oh, why is Floyd fighting Tenshin Nasukawa? Fuck him. He's ruining boxing. Stay retired, Floyd. That's what, you know, that's why I don't believe in that. That's why I have to be like, I have to be me. I can't coon. I can't say, you know, because why am I going to coon for some people that don't even like me? You know what I'm saying? They just, like, the moment you derive from what their narrative that they want, then they're going to turn on you. It's like, who wants to be in a gang where, you know, if, you know, a person has a disagreement with you in the gang, you know, they're going to shoot up your family's house or something, you know, like, why you want to be in a gang like that? You know, they're going to, you know, if they're broke, they're going to steal from you. Who wants to be in that type of gang? Like, you know, like where it's just known up front that, you know, if you guys aren't on the same path or on the same page, then they're going to, you know, snitch on you. They're going to steal from you. They're going to try to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to like, yeah, we're brothers. You know, we had a disagreement. We're not feeling each other right now, but it's, you know, it's all love. So, you know, that was what Wilder said. He said that he feels like Floyd just wants, you know, kind of wants the spotlight. And he doesn't want to let nobody shine. Yeah, like, and see, this is, honestly, this is the thing, is like when people, like when I seen the fight, I see why people are saying it's a robbery. If you have the Showtime whole crew, Steve Farhood, Paulie Malignaggi, Floyd, they're all saying it was this crazy robbery and or shutout. So, you know, that's powerful. Like the best boxer ever, you know, best boxer of this generation is saying that, you know, Wilder's looking horrible, and, you know, I have Tyson Fury up 5-0. You know, opinions matter to a lot of people, especially if you just learning the sport. You be like, oh shit, Floyd said it, you know. Or like, imagine that cosign. He gave Chocolatito the cosign. What did Chocolatito do with it? Got knocked out, lost, you know, disappeared. So imagine if he would have gave that cosign to, you know, a person like a prominent up and coming American fighter who was deserving of that. You know, there's a lot of great American talents, especially like black fighters that it looks like they're going to be hard to beat. You know, and it seems like Floyd, sometimes he'll say stuff, but it's only when it's like strategic. Like I said, opportunist. Like he'll say, oh yeah, Terrence Crawford, like if he's mad at Broner, then he'll talk about how Terrence Crawford is better than Broner or something. You know, something like that. He'll do something like that. But I want to see him talk about Terrence Crawford when no one asked him to talk about. You know, not when he's warring with Adrian Broner or, you know, trying to sun somebody or, you know, prove a point. Just be like, Terrence Crawford, he's the #1 pound for pound. But you had the opportunity to say Terrence Crawford was the #1 pound for pound, and you said Chocolatito. It's not like Crawford and Chocolatito are in two different eras. They're in the same fucking era. And you said you had the opportunity to golden spotlight, and you said Chocolatito was the #1 pound for pound. Not Crawford, not Errol Spence, not, you know, whoever else was out there. You said it was Chocolatito. Conveniently the guy. So that's why I'm saying that. That's why I feel like he didn't believe that. He just said that. I mean, I can't tell you what he believed, but to me it didn't sound like he believed that. You know? And he, like, you know, it's the bottom line is some people seem like they're saying stuff to stay popular. I don't do that, and I don't care about doing that. You know, he's like, oh yeah, Tyson Fury, you know, he's outboxing him. Like, he's not outboxing Wilder like you would outbox Wilder if you guys were the same size. You know what I'm saying? Tyson Fury's doing well. He's outboxing, don't get it twisted. But it's in spots, like, you know. So that's my thoughts. It wasn't this. How is it this robbery and Tyson Fury landed the less hurtful punches, and he only landed 13 more punches? Please answer that. If it's this huge robbery, how did you land the less like destructive, impactful punches, and on top of that, you only landed 13 more punches? How do you only land 13 more punches and you destroyed somebody and masterclass boxed them? Like I said, the masterclass Floyd Mayweather performances, he was tearing dudes out the frame. Floyd versus Gotti, it was like, no, well, first of all, he stopped Gotti for one. But even if it went to a decision or some shit, if it looked like that, like how the rest of the fight looked, then it was like a no contest, you know? So, and I told you guys this you see how I don't have to bend and shift, and I think it's an emotional thing, you know. I've found a way through life, especially as I've gotten older, because I don't have the greatest temper, to be honest, you know. But I found a way to like kind of curb my emotion type shit. You get what I'm saying? So it's like some people, they're on such an emotional high and like so emotionally involved and stuff. They're like, you know. But I feel like I play it pretty cool. Like, it was a big fight, and even though everything's calmed down now, I pretty much feel the same way. I mean, I haven't watched the fight again, but I've seen some clips over and over and shit. And you know, the more I'm thinking about it, I still feel pretty much. Some people be drunk and shit, and then how they were acting and how they felt initially, once it's calmed down and, you know, a week has passed, and they're like, okay, yeah, it wasn't that like how I made it. You know, some people can't control their emotions, basically. Like I said, I really want to say the first 4, maybe 5 rounds was very limited in what was landing in general. And I know for a fact Wilder was the aggressor. He may have missed more, but he was also going for more. And he was also landing some power shots and body shots. Like, how is it that Tyson Fury outlanded Wilder in different rounds? Like, obviously some were better than others, but a lot of the rounds, the difference in punch count was 1 or 2 punches. And then on top of that, you look at what would you score as more of a damaging shot? A vicious body shot or a power punch, or landing 2 more jabs? You know, if it's a jab contest and that's all you have to pick from, then of course, you know, who was winning the jab contest. But if a guy's like, you know, seek and destroy, missing some but also landing some, and landing the bigger power shots and body shots, I don't see how he lost all those rounds in the beginning. Tyson Fury, you know, feinting, jabbing, that's good. He's trying to set up his game plan. But it wasn't like he was just out there in round 1 and like bolo punching and landing and pow, 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 and you know, tearing them up. Like, this shit was separated by 1 or 2 punches more, and they were jabs. Feinting, you're not even, you know, like the feints he was doing, you're not even touching the opponent. You know, you're not even touching him. Like, you're not striking him. You know, you're just setting up the tempo. Big up Boxingego, enough respect. Shout out to y'all, man. So like I said, it was a good fight, fun fight. I told y'all from the beginning, I didn't want to distract from that. But, you know, people start tripping out about the fight. You know, it was a good fight. I do think, you know, Tyson Fury boxed well. Like, and, you know, he had Wilder looking gassed in spots, you know, befuddled, like overshooting his punches. See, I'm real. Wilder looked like he was telegraphing and loading up, you know, so I get the aspect of Tyson Fury's boxing ability made Wilder look sloppier. You know, Wilder's accuracy was like way down for this particular fight. But, you know, you still got to give the man credit for what he does right, too. You can't just look at just that. Because here's the thing. If Wilder was so horrible, then why did he score 2 knockdowns? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was missing, but he obviously found some type of success and has the power to sit you down, because he wouldn't have created the 2 knockdowns. You know, that's why, like I said, to me, it wasn't a master class. A master class is like, you know, Shaolin monk shit. Like, you know, like a kung fu movie where, like, you know, this school, like Bruce Lee or something, and this school tries to attack you, and you, you know, and nobody can fuck with you. Like, to me, that's what I think of when I think of a master class. Like, damn, you completely schooled them. Not like, hey, you were schooling them and then you got dropped really hard, and then you got dropped harder on some Undertaker shit in the 12th round. To me, that's not that. You know, so you, instead of just talking about only the aspect of being outboxed, talks about how, you know, Wilder, at least, you know, when it was pivotal, he actually found some range to connect. Because that 2-piece was pretty flush, the 12th one. He's like, bop, whoop, you know, and it hooked him as he's falling down. So he found something there. And if he was connecting like that earlier, we already know what would happen. But he, you know, he couldn't. So, you know, to be honest, I really pick Wilder for the rematch. I really do. I love Fury. I like what he represents. But Fury boxed as well as he could, and he still got dropped hard. And that was arguably one of Wilder's, you know, through its totality, it's probably one of his performances where he looked the least sharp, you know. So Tyson Fury's gonna have to do that again for 12 more rounds with a guy who knows he can hurt you and is going to look to make certain adjustments. Maybe Wilder, to me, is the biggest thing he struck, because some of that shit was just still 50-50. All right, when the fight happens, bet me. We'll bet some money. Everybody remember Eddie Jones. Look, these dudes is so funny, bro. I promise. I'm about to 2019. I'm about to make a killing in boxing. I promise you that. I promise you that. Fury and Wilder will both be sharper in the rematch. All right. It's a good fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Tyson Fury has no shot, but Wilder put up, as far as his title defenses, you know, for more rounds, like, that's probably the lousiest he's looked, you know, and he still produced 2 big knockdowns. You get what I'm saying? So if he sharpens up, which we've seen him land definitely sharper and more direct punches, then, you know, I like I said, you got to look at it. Boxing is boxing. Fury boxed a hell of a fight and still got dropped very hard, even when Wilder wasn't looking, you know, spectacular in that mid to late fight. And throughout all of that, he still came up with something, especially the 12th round knockdown. He came out with something monumental. So, you know, what more is Fury going to do that he didn't do here? Fury hasn't been active. Bullshit, because he fought 2 times this year. You know, you guys got to watch what you say to see if it makes sense. How has he not been active, but he fought 2 times in a year? This was his 3rd fight. Doesn't really make too much sense when you think about it. Mikey Garcia had a 2.5-year layoff like that, and he's been on a tear ever since. He came back, beat Elias Rojas. His 2nd fight, he fought a 90% knockout guy in Dazn Latition and stretched him in 2 rounds or so. Coming off of a 2.5-year out the ring, dealing with the top-ranked lawsuit. Stop it. I'm not saying Mikey was living the same exact way as Tyson Fury, but I don't know. You know, Because just, you know, even if you gain weight and even if you drink beers and stuff or get out of shape, I don't know if he was doing that type of stuff. But either way, he was absent. He was absent, and Mikey's been looking beast ever since. Ever since he came back out of that Top Rank lawsuit layoff shit, he's been looking like a Don. Anthony Allen, please stop. You don't know, bro. You're not fucking with me. How many fights has Demetrius Andrade had in the last 4 years? Since you want to keep making excuses. You said Fury had 3 fights in 3 years. Okay, so how many fights did Demetrius Andrade have in the last 3-4 years? Andrade just won a title against an awkward, tough puncher, and he was down to fight Billy Joe Saunders. So how many did Andrade have? See? Always got these excuses, man. See how he doesn't answer the question? He's looking it up because he don't know. You're dealing with the Dawn, man. Exactly, you don't know. Demetrius Andrade fought once in 2018. He fought twice in 2017. And he fought once in 2016. So, since 2015, Demetrius Andrade had 4 fights. And he's a champion. Stop making these fucking excuses. Especially, I know boxing. So, Andrade hasn't been active. He just won a title. And he's calling out Canelo and Triple G. So, if you think, you know, he can't beat him, then they should fight him. Instead of fighting Rocky Fielding and Canelo Triple G3. So, you know, it's all what you do. Tyson Fury is good. He's a beast. He only fought 3 times in 3 years. You know, Andrade hasn't fought too much more than that either. And he was down to fight Billy Joe Saunders, which we're not going to blame on Andrade for Saunders failing a drug test. So, it is what it is. And like, see, listen, I hate to be like, I hate to sound cruel, but I just like to cut the bullshit. Tyson Fury didn't fight for 3 years because of Tyson Fury. You know, I get it. Your mental health, you're going through what you're going through, the drugs and all that. But this is what he elected to do. Besides the mental health, obviously, you can't control if depression falls on you. But like drinking and stuff, I'm pretty sure the drugs and drinking doesn't help that. You know, I've been depressed and I never did no drugs. You know, so it is a personal, some aspects of his layoff. You know, I've done drugs and I never weighed 400 pounds, and I'm over 6'3". You know, so some of it is a personal choice. I've literally been depressed. I've literally, you know, been in dark spaces. I didn't do that. You know, I didn't touch no drugs. So, you know, to each his own. And again, I'm not trying to chastise him. To each his own. Great that he's in a better place. But people acting like, you know, like the 3-year layoff. That because listen, the 3-year layoff. Yeah, I'm taller than 6'3". I was standing next to Wilder. I was like, okay, I'm right on Wilder. But I mean, he'll knock me out though. But still, I was like, I'm almost as tall as you know. But anyway, bottom line is Tyson Fury. The reason he was off for 3 years was the cocaine shit, failing that drug test. You don't get suspended for 3 years or whatever for depression. Well, actually, maybe you could if they don't feel you're fit to fight. But that's not why he got like taken out of boxing. So, you know, the cocaine thing was his choice, you know, to do that aspect of it, you know. But anyway, I'm not trying to, I know these are sensitive subjects, so I'm not, I don't want to put too much on it in terms of talking about it. But bottom line is, these are what fighters go through. Kane, they're not going to answer that. Fury was already depressed before the Klitschko fight, and he never took drugs till after the fight. So the two things... Well, how do you know when he was depressed? I don't know. Y'all, I'm not trying to turn this stream into something else. Listen, help people if they need it. If you think someone might be depressed, see if there's any way you can help them, or just be a shoulder, someone to talk to. But bottom line is, Fury did his thing. He outboxed. I really feel like Wilder. I don't see when I look at it. When I look like same thing. Why I said Canelo over Triple G. It's a slightly different reason, but Triple G, it's not like he did anything really bad in the first fight. That's why I picked Canelo in the second fight, because I feel like Canelo was the one that he has it within his style to make certain adjustments, and he would have looked a lot better. Like if he would have put his foot on the gas and try to walk Triple G down like he did in the first fight. You get what I'm saying? So same thing. Wilder, he didn't put on his craziest, most accurate performance, and he still produced really big. So if he goes back to the drawing board, other thing is, like, one of the biggest things for the Wilder Fury fight that not too many people are even talking about, that is insane to me, is the fact that you got Wilder pretty much weighing what a cruiserweight weighs. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Usyk weighed more than him versus Tony Bellew. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what he weighed, but Wilder weighed 209, 212, and he's doing this. I mean, Wilder's a freak. Wilder, that's like, he don't fight like Roy Jones, but that's Roy Jones level of freakish athleticism. I don't think enough people are giving credit to that, bro. Like, how is Tyson Fury 6'10", 260, coming down for 400 pounds, and he's the one getting hurt, and he's the one getting, like, knocked out of his senses? I'm not saying Wilder was never hurt, but Wilder was never in no imminent danger like Tyson Fury was. That's insane. That is insane to me, that Wilder 209, 212, and he's the aggressor. Oh my gosh. That's real life power. That's real power. Like, how are you that weight doing that? Okay, put it this way. What if, see, this is gonna fuck y'all up. I know I'll be having y'all think. If y'all ready for this, I know a lot of y'all just listening. Smash the like button, and can I get a hell yeah before I drop this next point? Hold on. If y'all want this next point, can I get a hell yeah in the comment section? Drop that hell yeah, and I'm gonna say this. I'm about to fuck y'all up with this one. Can you imagine if Wilder had the same style, but he was 6'10" and he weighed 260? And Tyson Fury, the boxer, weighed 209 to 212 with his style. Come on, bro. Y'all gotta be fair. What do you think would happen? Okay, you got the guy who's shorter and much lighter walking you down and brutally knocking you down in that 12th. Imagine if Wilder was the guy that was a couple inches taller. He was 6'9", 6'10", and he weighed 260 with that type of power that he has, and whatever Tyson Fury's arm length is, I think it might be longer than Wilder. And Tyson Fury was the boxer, same style, but he was 6'7", and he was 209 to 212. Can y'all imagine that? what would happen? Same style, but they reversed their weight in frames. You know, Wilder was the taller with the same arm length as Tyson Fury and weighing 260. Come on, bro. And that's why I'm saying, that's why the reason I'm reversing and doing the Freaky Friday is so you guys can see, like, that alone deserves a lot of credit. People aren't giving that any fucking credit, bro. That this dude is 209, 212. Dropping a guy who's 6'10", 260, you know, who's outboxing him. You know, that's why I said both of them fought their ass off, because Wilder had to be discouraged, you know, in the middle rounds. And see, this is why I would pick Wilder in the rematch, because he has some punches that were just barely whizzing by. I seen the Showtime epilogue. Fury's like this, you know. So if Wilder got there a second sooner, you know, that shit would have been on the chin. Fury's doing like this, and it's just going like, you know, if he had a beard, it, you know, probably would have grazed the beard if he didn't cut his beard, you know. So I think Wilder can, you know, work on being more fluid and stop telegraphing and loading up, you know, just be a little bit looser, you know, and stop going for it. Like, for the first time, Wilder actually, and see, this is what I've credited Wilder for so long, is that he's a puncher. And like, you guys, I literally said this in, I think, the Luis Ortiz post-fight. You go to the live stream. The thing I gave Wilder credit for, he didn't show us in this Tyson Fury fight. I said, the thing I give Wilder a lot of credit for is he's a puncher, and he knows he has this crazy power, and he has a good level of patience. I literally said that. Some of you guys probably remember me saying that. I said he's composed and patient, whereas a lot of times you got a guy who he knows he has power, so he's trying to rush it. And then that's exactly what Wilder did in this fight, which made it close. You know, because he was like rushing and telegraphing and shit. Especially in the middle rounds. In round 10 and 11 or whatever. So the very thing I gave Wilder credit for, you know, he didn't really do too well. Exercise that patience. He just seemed like hasty. And you know, I really believe it's possible that he was hasty because of the event. Like, this is his first fight on pay-per-view, and Fury, and, you know, to this day and all that, man was trying to hurt Tyson Fury. So sometimes boxing's like that. You get into a mindset and like a game plan, and then it's hard to get out of that mode. Case in point, Keith Thurman versus Leonard Bundu. Keith Thurman, in my opinion, the type of power he has and where he was at that time, he could have. You seen what Errol Spence did to Leonard Bundu. Keith Thurman hurt Bundu badly in the first round. He could have got him out of there, but for whatever reason, Keith Thurman started boxing, and that's the thing. When you get into boxing, is about ebb and flow. You get what I'm saying? It's about ebb and flow. So sometimes, if you get too deep into a certain game plan, and the fighter's like, you know, in the game plan too, it's hard to get out of it. Like I said, case in point, Keith Thurman, Bundu. Keith Thurman, he should have just been more aggressive, and then he could have got Bundu out of there, I really feel. I think he had to be. I mean, he was hurt in round 1, and he was like, he's Olympian, but he allowed the Olympian to back in the fight and switch, you know, standpoints and, you know, do different shit and be tricky enough to survive. But if he would have, like, did what he did versus Jesus Soto Caras, I don't see how Bundu would have withstood all of that. But he played boxer. And then he allowed, you know, Bundu to do the, you know, kind of like Tyson Fury shit. You know, feint him, switch southpaw orthodox. And then if you watch the end of that fight, Thurman's face was kind of tatted up. You know, it's about ebb and flow. If Keith Thurman would have, whatever you did to get Bundu knocked down and hurt that bad, you know, he should have piled on the aggression right then. You know, because did he really think Bundu would, you know, counter him and knock him out or anything like that? This was when Thurman was active, but he got himself into a rut by letting a somewhat ambidextrous fighter who's an Olympian back into the fight and recover, and then he just couldn't get out of that mode, and he couldn't stop him. Meanwhile, Errol Spence, the way he fights, he destroyed Bundu. The reason he destroyed him is because, you know, Bundu started getting touched. Yeah, I remember it was after the Rio Olympics. Bundu was getting fucked up. Errol Spence don't let you recover. You gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Not literally, but you know, there ain't gonna be no recovery. You know, unless you're talking about Eminem album. That's the only recovery. Back in the locker room, listening to Eminem recovery. That he's not gonna let you. He's not gonna let up. You know, unless you make him let up or some shit. So that's what it is. I think Wilder is kind of like the opposite of Keith Thurman, Bundu. I think Wilder loading up and he was getting into that game plan. You know, the moment was big and he wanted it to this day and all this shit. Wanted to have this do it for the culture type of knockout. And then, you know, he got into that game plan. So it's hard to get out of it, especially when you're in there with Tyson Fury. See, if he would have did it with someone lesser, maybe it would have worked anyway. But, you know, it's just a bad combination. You get into a game plan where you're telegraphing and loading up, and then on top of that, you're doing it with the guy who's 6'10", long arms, you know, a lot of weight, is not afraid to clinch. You know, Tyson Fury deserves a lot of props. To be 6'10" and have a fucking brain and clinch, you know. Jose Pedraza fought like an idiot, bro. Brad Sav, block him. I don't want him here. You know, he's talking about nobody wants to see Joshua Ortiz. Bro, you just starting that dumb shit. You know, we know what you're doing. I have a successful boxing channel, and I talk boxing all the time. And I've done live stream. I did like 4 live streams today, and we talked about this. And motherfuckers was saying, Joshua, AJ, why doesn't Joshua fight Ortiz? Why doesn't AJ fight Ortiz? And then here you come talking about nobody wants to see it, knowing damn well. So everyone wants to see AJ versus Chisora, AJ versus Dillian White, to a guy he beat 2 years ago or so. But nobody wants to see Ortiz. Come on, bro. They be trying to come with that bullshit propaganda shit. Anywho, Tyson Fury deserves a lot of credit. B6'10" and not afraid to clinch. I don't know what it is, but people act like this boxing, you gotta respect this shit. This shit is a real like lifestyle and real, like, you have to strategize. You got someone trying to kill you. You know? A lot can go wrong if you don't do the right things in there. I give props to Tyson Fury because he's not afraid to clinch. He showed you that. He'll get off some combination and then clinch. It's smart. And it's smart because I think Wilder was getting tired. You know, a motherfucker weighing 209. You got this big ass 6'10" motherfucker on you, 260 clinching you. I think that's part of why Wilder was getting tired. That was a good game plan from Fury. and it was a game plan. Yeah, like, I don't know. People act like clinching is puss. But what would you rather do? Clinch and, you know, recover, or clinch and, you know, be strategic about it? I'm not saying a clinch fest, like where the whole fight is a clinch. But I'm just saying in spots, you know, to the point where you're not being warned by the referee and shit like that, and it's strategic, that's fair, you know? Like Pedraza. Lomachenko starts throwing everything at him in the 11th round, and he's trying to duck all of this shit. Like, you look stupid as fuck. They calling this dude the Matrix and shit, and he hasn't looked particularly sensational or like himself for the first 10 rounds. He clips you with the uppercut and starts going ballistic. Props to Lomachenko, but he started going fucking ballistic. And then you got Jose Pedraza trying to evade every shot, and he's jumping in angles. And see, Lomachenko, he's smart too. He's smart in the sense of he's a veteran, and he knows he didn't look good the whole fight, or he didn't look himself. So he had that opening. He went for it. I give him props for that. In that 11th round, he tried to take Pedraza out this game, because that's what you do. You know, just like Wilder in the 12th. He knew the fight, he needed something big. You know, he was trying to hurt Tyson Fury in that 12th. But anyway, Pedraza, why don't you clinch? Why don't you take a knee? You get Listen, listen. You like? I guess it's not macho enough or some shit. You take a knee. If Lomachenko keeps hitting you, then he could get disqualified. You know, or that's the best case scenario. If you're getting fucked up or whatever, he can get disqualified for the shit. Or you take a knee, and at best, you possibly turn what was pretty close fight. I'm not gonna say it's like they would have gave it to Lomachenko for sure, but it was moderately competitive, and you have a potential if you clinch or took the knee, you have a potential to maybe turn the 2 knockdowns into 1, which would have did better, but you got destroyed in the 11th round. That's why I said Jose Pedraza fought like an idiot in that 11th round. You're really trying. Lomachenko has good speed. He's fast foot, and he knew he wasn't looking great. And you're just trying to block everything he's throwing at you. It's just stupid. To me, that was horrible. That was horrible. Like, this motherfucker fucked this whole shit up. Pedraza was doing cool. He was doing cool. And then that uppercut sequence, and then you're trying really, when you're buzzed a little bit, you're trying to block everything instead of just clinching. And you're the bigger man. You're bigger. He looked, a little bit bigger than Lomachenko. At least try. And Lomachenko's going to try to fidget his way free. That buys you a little bit of time. But, guys want to be, I'm tough. And then, all right, you tough. And then when he start destroying you, then, all right, that's what you wanted. And Loma, like I said, Loma's a veteran. He knew that was his moment because he hadn't looked sensational in the fight. So he's going to step on the gas, which he did. Props to him for that. And Pedraza's trying to move and block all this shit. Like, he's throwing too much shit at you, bro. Just clinch, just take a knee. That was really, that was beyond. And like, if you clinched, maybe there's a chance you didn't go down at all. I don't know. I'm not, I can't rewrite history, but, it's a chance. It's a chance that you didn't go down, but there's a greater chance that you do go down if you're trying to, you don't regain your senses and, give yourself a time. So bottom line, that's why I respect Tyson Fury's IQ, because he will clinch if he has to. Even though he's 6'10", and, it might look awkward. It might look like the unnoble thing to do or whatever, Same thing with Floyd Mayweather. Shane Mosley was trying to rock your world. You better clinch or get destroyed like your pops used to, Exactly, like he was throwing way too much at him and he's trying to block with his head. He needed to clinch and slow him down. That's what I'm saying. Like just go watch the 11th round. Lomachenko was getting off on him. Getting off, and he knew he needed that. He, what I'm saying, that was his chance. That was Lomachenko's way out to, to make up for not looking, like himself for the first 10 rounds. And you're gonna give that to him by not clinching, by not taking a knee. Like I said, you take a knee. You took a knee. He knocked you down anyway, twice. He said, bro, that 11th round was the entire highlight clip for Top Rank. That's what I'm saying. Look at the timestamps. They took his whole, they made it like that was the whole fight. But whatever. You gotta slow that, you gotta slow that shit down. Why? It's no different than a referee. Like, we get into some good boxing talk. Andre Ward versus Edwin Rodriguez, they were fighting too rough. They weren't really listening. Jack Reese had to split them up and deduct a point from both of them. And he warned them, yeah, I'll disqualify both y'all motherfuckers if y'all don't calm down. So it's like a parent, the ref, Jack Reese, he had to restore the order in that ring. That, Jack Reese is a really good ref. So Andre Ward and Edwin Rodriguez, they both lost a point, You know, he's like, yeah, y'all, this ain't your ring. This is my ring. You can't, you guys aren't going to just fight all crazy and like, you know, wild and shit and then expect me to break it up. You know, both of y'all would be disqualified if you don't start listening. So the reason Jack Reese did that in the Ward versus Edwin Rodriguez fight is because they were going too wild and it was too rough and it wasn't tamed enough. So he was like, you know, he had to get the ring back into control. It's like a teacher in the classroom. If the class is just throwing papers and like talking and stuff, you're like, hey, you know, you got to get the class back. You know, I look at it like that. Like Pedraza is like the classroom is unruly. You know, Lomachenko is the classroom and everyone's being unruly. You're the teacher. You got to restore order. So like I said, sometimes you have to restore the order by clinching to slow that pacing up because it's just like too much that you can't control right there. And Pedraza was really trying to block all of that shit that Loma was throwing. And Loma's footwork is too fast for you to do all that. And see, and you're rattled, you know, like you were keeping up with Loma pretty well, his foot speed, but not when you're hurt. You know, these dudes be fighting. They be doing weird stuff like that. I think every fighter in their camps, they need to work on drills. It don't matter how good your chin is, but you need to practice what you know, that's why you see some people doing that dizzy drill where they spin around and shit. And then like the whole room is spinning. And then, you know, they get a trainer with the mitts or the towels or something. So you have to simulate how you do it when you're in there feeling like woozy or drunk or your equilibrium's off. You know, fighters don't see, man. That's why, you know, that's why guys like Pacquiao and Mayweather are hard to beat and be hot for a while because they're from a different generation. You know, the way things were taught. Now boxing, there's a lot of glamour in it. You know, you can make hella money. Canelo's making $365 million. So you got people training, like their gyms become like Hollywood gyms. You know, you know, gyms that are on YouTube and people are coming in and interviewing them and stuff. And sometimes they don't even work on like some of the basics, like jabbing, young fighters going to the body, stop headhunting, do drills when you're fucking tired or something, when you're dizzy, you know, have a game plan for if you're hurt. It's like people, they feel like I'm invincible. I'm never going to get hurt, so I don't have to worry about that. All right. Some gyms got to take it back to the basics. Because if Pedraza would have did that, that would have been cool. Because, like, you know what? I know I'm talking about. Case in point. Jose Pedraza. If Lomachenko went ham on him and he was clinching and he slowed it down and he caused Lomachenko himself, like, you could potentially reverse that energy where Lomachenko's so eager, he's eager to try to get you out of there. So he's fidgeting and the adrenaline, he's trying to free his arm. He's burning up all this energy trying to get you out of there. But if you controlled it and tamed it a little bit, then that puts you back in, you're recovering. But in addition to you recovering, he might punch himself out. He might burn himself out trying so hard to get you out of there. And then you now have a tired Lomachenko in front of you because you used that energy against him. He's trying to free his arm as you're clenching real hard. And he already threw, Lomachenko in the 11th round threw 42 punches, you know? So let's say he threw, you stayed upright and he threw 18 and then you clinched him real hard. He already threw 18 punches and he's going to be trying to fidget and trying to get you out of there. And, you know, you could have gassed him out, you know, and gave yourself time to recover. But you fought like an idiot and tried to block all this stuff. And he's just going ham and connecting. Bad game plan, really bad. Like, you know, it was that point. We knew Lomachenko in a close fight, they're probably not going to give it to the other guy, you know, given that fight. It wasn't like Pedraza was doing cool, but he wasn't doing enough to the point where we thought Lomachenko would lose on judges' scorecards, Loma being the matrix and favorite and shit. So you got to find ways to reverse that energy on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. You got to reverse that energy. Instead of having this barrage of punches come out, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what it reminds me of? Watch any good Hollywood movie, you know, like a gangster flick, or like Heat with Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, or a cop thriller. Man, you know, Boxingego, you should train some fighters and spit some game to them. Nah, man, I do my thing. I do this, but just watch a Hollywood film like I said, like Heat, or a cop movie, Bad Boys or something. Tell me if you don't see this. Bad Boys, Martin and Will Smith, they're in the Haitian, you know, drug house or whatever. The Haitians got automatic weapons, automatic weaponry, you know, high power shit. They got some pistols. So the Haitians be like, and then like duck. And then after, Will Smith will be like, pop, 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 and then go back behind the wall. Some shit like that. Do you get what I'm saying? The reason you're doing that is because if somebody has, let's say, an AR-15, and they're like, bop, 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 and then just dumping, and you peek your head at, you finna get dumped on. Do you get what I'm saying? So somebody has an AR, and they're like, and then you poke your head out, you might get clipped with that. But you wait, it's like double dutch. You know, you wait for your opening that you can. You're not going to just stand in the way of like some high powered artillery like that, and then just poke your head out and just get blasted. That's why you see bah, 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 and then when you have your opening, pow, 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 you know, and then you take cover. That's the equivalent for like a Pedraza situation. Lomachenko's dumping the AR-15, and then you're just peeking your head out there, like, you know. That's horrible. That's just a horrible game plan. Lomachenko was like, bow, bow, you know, throwing everything he can at you, and you're trying to dodge all of it. It's like me, you know, this ain't no, he thought he was, Pedraza was like, thought he was in the Matrix or something, like, for real. You know, someone's shooting you and you're trying to dodge all the shot. You better just take cover, you know, take cover, compose yourself, you know, and then try to, especially if you have a pistol and they have like automatic weapons and shit. But, you know, people want to be heroes or whatever the fuck, machismo. So that's what happens. You don't slow down that pace against an elite level fighter, then what happens is what happened in the 11th round with Pedraza. Exactly, Harlem Nights. They had them Tommy gun. Quick, oh my God. You kill Tommy quick. Don't you shoot that little motherfucker quick. Pow, pow, pow. Eddie Murphy was like, man, fuck this. Pow, 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 pow. And then he ducked. He killed all of them. They was really dumping. Quick. Nah, don't shoot that little motherfucker quick. You kill my brother. That's a classic scene. That's a classic movie. Shout out to you, Al Green. I'm so tired of being alone. He said, ego and boxing in the morning. My favorite thing to listen to when I'm driving to work. Have a good and safe day at work. Appreciate you. Yeah, man. You just have to stop the onslaught. That's the bottom line. And what Pedraza did was foolish. You trying to stop the onslaught, trying to dodge. He's fresher and he's getting off on you. And you trying to dodge all of them, like, just by moving. Like, this is really... Box Watch TV, ego, YouTube won't allow me to update my membership. Been saying something is wrong. Try again later for days. Ooh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happens. I have to try to look into it for you, but appreciate you. What do you mean updated? It says you still have it. You have the badge still. I don't know. Yeah, Pedraza thought he was in the Matrix trying to dodge all this shit. Like, all right, good luck with that. And why are you trying to dodge all this shit when you're hurt? You know what I'm saying? It'd be one thing if you was like fresh and feeling great. He clipped you, and I'm sure it got your attention. You hurt thinking you gonna dodge everything. Just fighters got to be smart, you know. I hate when fighters do shit like this, you know, like I forgot what it was. I was really happy. I forgot what fight it was. Man, I was just watching. There's so much boxing on. It was a fight and somebody took a long ass count, and I was happy because that's what you're supposed to do. You know, people want to get up real quick and shit. What's the point in that? But I watched the fight and the person got knocked down. It might have been the Fury fight. I don't remember, but I remember watching the fight and they got up on like 9. And I know it's the Fury one too in the 12th round, but I think it was a different fight where someone got dropped and they took a long count before they got up. What fight was it? I don't think it was a Fury. I think it was another fight. It was like somebody. I think they might have even got stopped, but I still like to see that from fighters. You know, you see Zab Judah Costa Zoo. He tried to get up. He was his legs was done. You know, you gotta. It just doesn't make sense to get up real quick. Ego, what's the likelihood Wilder faces Joshua instead of Fury? Low, in my opinion. I don't remember if it was a low, but I don't remember what fight it was, to be honest. I just remember something I was watching recently, like a new fight. And they took a long count before they got up. I don't think Wilder's fighting Joshua next. I mean, just do the math. Everybody on board is saying they want to do the rematch for Wilder Fury. The WBC co-signed it and said we're sanctioning it. They made a lot of money and they know they can strike while the iron's hot and ride this momentum. You know, everyone's talking about Wilder and Fury. They're both on Joe Rogan. You know, why even deal with Team Joshua if they gave you the runaround earlier today? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, why even, like, if you got a good thing going and, you know, you can set the record straight and run it back, why even go the Joshua route right now? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, obviously, people want to see the Joshua fight, but I'm just saying, like, who would you rather, like, let's say you had a photographer you used a photographer for your kid's birthday party, right? And one photographer you end up not hiring, you were about to hire them, and then you had a lot of problems, bad communication, blah, blah, blah. So you went with someone else. So you went with a different photographer, right? They did your kid's party. Now you're about to get married, a whole separate event, and you need a photographer for your wedding. You know, who are you going to want to use? Are you going to want to use the other photographer, the first one that you tried to use initially and it fell out, and that photographer, you didn't get to work with them, but they do good work? Or do you want to just go back to the photographer that did your kid's birthday party that also does good work and everything was seamless? The communication was much better, much cleaner, and they were easier to work with. The first photographer was snobby. First photographer didn't end up actually getting the job for your kid's birthday party. Oh my gosh, I'm the king of analogy. So that's Wilder Fury. Wilder Fury is the, you know, Team Fury, Frank Warren. They're the second photographer that you end up using. So again, if you're in the market for a photographer again for a wedding, who you gonna get? Who you gonna reach out to? The person that didn't work, that was harder to deal with and harder to communicate, that you didn't end up using, or you're gonna do a repeat and get the photographer that had good communication and did your kid's party. So that's why I don't think Wilder Joshua happens next. Because I know what I would pick. You know, it don't matter if the first photographer had real good photos too. You know, they were harder to deal with. And who wants to be stressed out at their wedding, you know, some shit like that. Yo, make sure y'all smash the like button. YouTube been playing, man. They're not sending out no notifications. You know, it's like they're putting like this shit. I don't know what they're doing. Like it's like it's like a certain threshold, and it won't let you know. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's frustrating. It's like, I don't know. I really feel like they're trying to encourage some of the smaller content creators. Do you get what I'm saying? So like you see some of the smaller content creators, and then you look at their live stream, and it'll have like 300 to 500 concurrent watchers, and then I'll have a bigger channel, and then it'll say we only have 150. You know, and it's like the audience retention. I don't know. It's just it's crazy with these live streams. YouTube is horrible. It's gonna end up like HBO. Man, they're just tripping. They're just tripping, not sending notifications. You know. And it's like they got to get it figured out, because I told you, like, from what I've seen, how it works is I'm a bigger channel, so I have a lot of content that comes out. Do you get what I'm saying? So I get they're not trying to overwhelm the, you know, if I'm putting out, like, there's some days where I put 7 to 12 videos out if I want, you know? So I get it. You don't want to send someone 12 alerts to their phone and, like, you know, they got school or something like that. But the live streams are typically a little bit different, you know? And it's like everybody keeps saying they're not getting the notifications, you know? So it's like people look at it, they're like, oh, damn, you have 165,000 subscribers. But at the end of the day, you guys, what you don't understand is this: not 165,000 are seeing each stream. It's not marketed to every part. You know, they're trying to do this machine learning bullshit. You know, that's the thing about it. So when you see that, that's what it is. Because I've seen people, there's a lot of channels I follow that have nothing to do with boxing, and some of them have like 250,000 subscribers, and then I have more likes and I have more watchers than them. I'm like, how is this working? You know what I'm saying? And they have like hella subscribers. So I don't know. I don't know if they YouTube to me hasn't mastered the live game. I feel like there's been more like issues with it than other platforms like Instagram and Facebook. So I really hope they figure this stuff out. You know, because like, I don't know. I've been studying, trust me. Like, let's do a vote. Please type how you came to this stream right now. If you got a notification, say notification. Block Leroy Brown. Damn, nigga, you still talking this, that coked up rant. I don't do coke, you know. I'm not ego fury. Block them. Block Leroy Brown. You see, this is my job. I get paid to do this. I love what I do. You know, you see how this new generation is pitiful. Like, they always have to relate everything to drug use and abuse. Like, y'all be on some real shit. I don't have time for the dumb shit. I got him. Okay, so we got some notifications. Okay, but when did you get the notifications? You got it at the beginning? So some of the people who got notifications, did you get a note? Because I've been on, like, I'm about to get off, but I did a stream 2 hours ago. Just scrolling on YouTube, digging the stream though, bro. Straight facts. Appreciate you, Blood Brought. Okay, it's cursor from the beginning. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how this shit works, how YouTube. Daryl Zapata said I searched. Usually at the beginning. Well, only got one for this one though. I searched for it. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's too much of a mixed bag. There needs to be like more of a direct way. I don't know. I gotta see how these streams work. I'm still trying to do, like, you know, my own little case study to see. I got it an hour ago. See, that's what I'm saying. I've been on for 2 hours. Anyway, that's a stream, the vampire stream. You know, we just working. Stay tuned to the channel. We got a lot of videos coming up. Canelo's fighting this weekend. You know, I really feel like it's light. I feel like not so many people are talking about it, but you know, we'll see what the fight delivers. Charlo's fighting after that. Stay tuned. Keep it locked. We working. Everybody enjoy your morning. Peace out.